gamers, and welcome back to the RegentsPlays YouTube channel. Today talking about Battlefield 6. Now, they tweeted out yesterday a blog post on Twitter, basically with the beta updates. Of course, week 1 and week 2 is done now of Battlefield 6 open beta, and it was so much fun. I love the beta, and I'm missing it, man. I'm missing it so much, but I have a bunch of content, so the videos will continue up until release, hopefully. I just wanted to talk a bit about the blog post that they released, because a lot of the stuff, mainly the movement, which we're going to start with, got a lot of people talking, and I'm interested to see your guys' thoughts and opinions on this in the comments down below. Whether you played the beta or you watched the beta, what do you think about these changes? So first and foremost, the movement. Now, it says, movement mechanics have been adjusted to create a more balanced and traditional Battlefield experience. Momentum, especially horizontal speed, carried from a slide into a jump, has been reduced. There is now a greater penalty for consecutive jumps, which lowers jump height when jumps are spammed. Firing while jumping or sliding will result in increased inaccuracy. These changes are designed to make sliding and jumping more situational, so they are no longer ideal options for engaging in gunfights and will contribute to a gameplay pace that rewards skillful movement without becoming too fast or unpredictable. Now, when I first saw this, I was like, oh, people aren't going to be happy. Now, I was correct, because Twitter exploded in regards to this blog post, mainly with Call of Duty fans and the little, you know, movement, spammy children. Listen, I'm 27 now, right? I've been playing video games since I was 3 years old, okay? I may be a boomer now when it comes to video games, you know, old school COD and all stuff like that. I understand where gaming has gone in terms of Fortnite, like fast-paced sliding around corners and bunny hopping and all this and that. I understand where it's gone. I'm a boomer, though. I can't stand, especially in a, like, if it's Call of Duty, fair enough, in a Battlefield game, which is supposed to be grounded, realistic, not to the level of Armor or Squad or Hell Let Loose, something like that, but compared to Call of Duty and stuff, it's supposed to be grounded, it's supposed to be realistic and immersive. I don't want to see people running around sliding like they're Thierry Henry in the 90th minute scoring a winner. Like, I don't want to see people slide, stand up, jump, 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 slide, jump, slide, jump. It just, I absolutely hate. I've never been a fan of that movement in any video game, any FPS game. It's just not my game style. I much prefer the slow, methodical, you know, build-up sort of play of a FPS game. I can't stand, you know, bunny hops and slides and exploiting the movement and mechanics in order to get around corners quicker or jump over something quick. I can't stand it. I think it's awful. So I'm glad they're tweaking it. Now, I should say, they're only tweaking it. They did make this clear after as well. It's not like a complete movement change. So people that are complaining and crying about it, it's not like they're reinventing the movement from the Battlefield 6 open beta. They're just tweaking it slightly. And again, I'm for this movement. I think there were definitely moments of the beta where I saw people sliding and jumping, and especially consecutive jumping. I'm glad they're changing that, because something in Battlefield has always been, you can't just spam jumping over and over again. You know, I want, if you do want to keep spamming jump, 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 you're not going to see anyone doing that in a real war. You need to be punished for stuff like that. You can't just, you know, spam the jump button and keep shooting over and over again without an accuracy nerf. So I'm all for the movement changes. Again, I know that's the main thing people are talking about. I'm all for it. I'm interested to see what you guys think about the movement. But I've seen a lot of people, again, especially you know, Call of Duty kids and whatnot, of the movement lovers, going, yeah, we want to keep our slides. We want to keep all of our jumps on our slides. The movement's great. We don't get out of here, man. This is Battlefield, ladies and gentlemen, and hopefully we're going to feel a bit more like Battlefield as well. So apart from the movement, there's also some other things changing. In terms of the weapons, they said, we're making targeted adjustments to deliver a more consistent and rewarding gunplay experience. This includes a general pass on recoil and tap fire characteristics across all weapons, further emphasizing their unique feel and improving range differentiation. We've also made changes to encourage more controlled tap firing and burst firing, rewarding precision and weapon mastery. They also said the shotgun requires more pellets to secure a kill now, and they're investigating the time to kill and time to death experience, which I do enjoy. There was a lot of talk about TTK and TTD before, that's for sure. Of course, we know the shotgun was overpowered and needs nerfing, so that is good. Hopefully we don't see everyone running around with a shotgun just absolutely obliterating people anymore. In terms of the tap firing and burst firing, I found, especially with the AK-205 carbine, which was maybe my favorite gun in the whole game, at long range with like a 4x scope, that thing up close, you know, the damage is very low. I think it was like 20 or 25 damage. It's very low compared to the other carbines. But if you're at range and you're tap firing, there's no recoil on that bad boy. So if you can get your tap fires off, and if you're very, very accurate, it was very, very rewarding. I got a lot of long-range kills with that AK-205, which I really, really enjoy using. So I'm excited that they're focusing on the controlled range of the tap firing and burst firing for those long-range kills. Because, again, that's gameplay I love. Being in the distance, tap firing, picking enemies off. It's how playing armor, and I think it's absolutely amazing. As for the maps, they said, we observed some players finding a way to reach rooftops and venture out of bounds. This gameplay is not intended for these maps, and the upcoming ladder for the Assault class is also not designed to access these areas. We're actively working on adjustments to prevent unintended access and ensure gameplay stays within the intended boundaries. Now, this was something I did see on Cairo, funny enough. I saw people going up on rooftops they shouldn't be able to go up on and stuff like that. I, myself, never tried to go up there. Again, it's just not something I really... I don't like to exploit games and, like, sit in places you can't go just to get easy kills and stuff. For me, that's boring. That's, you know, not part of the game, obviously. So it's good that they know that and they are looking into it. It is a beta, so some YouTubers were, like, pointing out, and I know some people got annoyed of, like, why are they pointing out? It's just making more people play it. It was a beta, so big YouTubers like JackFrags pointing that out is a good thing, because then it makes the devs know, hey, this is actually a thing that needs fixing, which they are now fixing. So that is very, very good. We also heard strong feedback from players excited by the larger scale maps that Battlefield has to offer. I am one of those. We need more large scale maps. While the open beta featured smaller, more fast-paced maps, larger scale maps are already part of our launch package, delivering action-packed gameplay and memorable, unique moments for every player. As part of the upcoming Battlefield Labs testing, we'll be testing 2 new multiplayer maps, one set in Mirak Valley, the other a remake of a fan favorite from Battlefield 3, Operation Firestorm. These 2 maps include the full complement of vehicles like Liberation Peak, along with more vast combat space. This is what I'm very excited about. Liberation Peak I enjoyed in the beta because it was a big map with a helicopter and a jet. I do hope there's more helicopters and jets, like not just 1 per team. Having like 2 or maybe even 3 per team could be very, very fun. Operation Firestorm was one of my favorite maps in Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, so I'm glad that's coming back. We don't need Metro again, even though we'll probably end up getting it. But Firestorm's a fan favorite, which I like. Mirak Valley, I've heard it's, I think, the biggest launch map in the game, so I'm excited for that as well. Again, I'm a Conquest lover. I love the big maps. I love the vehicles and stuff like that, so when they're talking about big maps, I absolutely love it, and it makes me excited. Speaking of the smaller maps, in the modes, they said when it comes to Rush, the conversation we observed wasn't just about player count, but also about how maps play and the tactical experience they offer. Rush is a mode with deep roots, originally known as Gold Rush in Bad Company. That's where I started my Battlefield journey, where matches typically range from 12 vs 12 to 16 versus 16. Many of you remember this as the golden era of Rush, and it continues to inspire our approach today. I'm glad they're looking at the old school Rush game modes, as that was when Rush was absolutely incredible. We've experimented with larger player counts over the years, such as 64 and even 128 player versions. While these matches created intense, fast-paced moments, they also led to issues, overwhelming defenses, stalled front lines, and too many games ending in the first sector. Rush is especially sensitive to higher player counts due to its tactical and strategic requirements. When a player tries to arm the MCOM while more than 20 opponents are defending, the intended gameplay becomes less tangible. Which I do agree. I think the player count in the beta wasn't necessarily the issue. I think it just mainly was where the MCOMs are stationed and the pathways in which attackers and defenders can actually go to get to the MCOM. So I'm glad they're tweaking that. I do like Rush. Conquest is my favorite, but I do like a bit of Rush just to throw it in there and change it up as well. So if they do get it going, they get the MCOMs in the right place and stuff like that, I will definitely have a go at Rush. I think I'll definitely play more Conquest, but of course I'm going to try Rush and Breakthrough as well. And speaking of Breakthrough, they did say Breakthrough is designed to accommodate higher player counts up to 64 players, and that's where the mode really shines. Using win-loss data from the open beta, we're continuing to make map-by-map balance adjustments towards our goal of 50-50 win ratio for both attackers and defenders, which again, I think is very fun. I think that's the main thing. With Conquest, it just depends on how your team plays and what flags you capture. With Rush and Breakthrough, it really does determine the paths in which attackers and defenders can take can really hinder or help certain sides, and it can really make a map unplayable for rush or breakthrough. If the attackers have an awful approach compared to the defense who can just sit and snipe them all the time, it really, really is painful. Like Liberation Peak, the first 2 points, or the first point of Liberation Peak on Rush, was absolutely awful. I hated it because it was just a wall of snipers looking at you when you're trying to attack. So I'm glad they're looking into that. They spoke about the player counts as well and said, for example, at launch, breakthrough layouts will support 48 players, while others will have 64. So there's going to be some maps that support lower player counts, some maps that support higher player counts. It's one of the many factors we adjust to create the right balance and feel for each scenario. In Breakthrough, higher player counts work well on open dynamic maps, while smaller player groups offer a more focused experience on denser maps. Portal gives players the flexibility to try different settings and find what works best for their group and playstyle. I'm really excited about Portal, just to see how that works. Really, really excited. They also spoke about playlist options. So it says, a limited variety of playlist options were created for the open beta to both showcase and test the flexibility of the matchmaking system. For more details on our playlist adjustments, see our post about the open beta week 2 playlist options. Playing with both open and closed weapons will continue to be options in Battlefield 6, and we are looking forward to ways to keep them easily accessible. We recognize that some players experience difficulty finding games to complete the challenge of capturing sectors in Breakthrough or Rush. It wasn't ideal, and we're actively using your feedback and in-game data to review and improve the matchmaking system with the goal of providing a smoother experience in the future. So they also had a bigger list of all the stats as well, which I thought was absolutely amazing. There was like 4.9 billion enemies killed, with like 30.9 million revives. 32% of players played Assault, 26 played Support, 23 played Engineer, and 19 played Recon. It showed the kills with the shotguns, which was just absolutely mind-staggeringly mental. The total road kills and stuff like that. And yeah, again, I had so much fun on both weeks. I thought it was really, really fun. I've already pre-ordered Battlefield 6. I know the whole rule was, you know, don't pre-order, but listen, it feels like Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4 vibes. It got me really excited even from the release of the first ever like show of it. I'm excited. I enjoyed both weeks. I'm excited for more. I'm definitely going to be playing more and releasing a ton more content of Battlefield 6. So let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on the 2 betas, if you did play them. And also if you are pre-ordering or not. Again, I'm very, very excited. I will be doing many, many more videos on Battlefield 6. And I just want to get going again. You know, I think they're going to be having another beta or Battlefield Labs session. It might be closed, I'm not too sure, before full release. But yeah, I pre-ordered. I'm ready. I'm anxious. I'm nervous. I'm excited. I'm feeling all sorts of emotions. But it feels like old school Battlefield. And that's all I wanted. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll catch you in the next one. Much as always, take care and happy gaming.